Does it work? Can you see me?
I can see. Let me see.
The camera's on. Oh, let me see. Oh no, I didn't put it on. Wait a moment. Yeah, maybe you can see me now.
Yes.
All right. Oh, there's Joel. Can see him now.
Ah. Oh, great. Hi.
Hey.
Oh, we got you on board. Thank goodness.
Finally, yeah. So.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hey. Hey there.
Thank you for joining us. We're going to do a really complicated discussion and chat with three windows switching back and forth, it looks like. But I'm Tina Hoodie with Follow the Coin, and we've got two really great guests today on the show. Please introduce yourselves, Joel and then Alex.
I'm Joel of Swarm, so decentralized crowdfunding.
Hi. I'm Alex. I'm one of the authors of The Hunt for Satoshi, which is a new comic book that we're launching now in November in English. And we're working together as Swarm to create a great crowdfunding campaign for the Bitcoin community.
Wow, exciting. So you guys are working together on Swarm, is that correct?
Well, I guess you could say that Alex has chosen to be one of the first, projects that launches on Swarm. So we're really excited about the Hunt for Satoshi and the idea of, that every Bitcoin enthusiast has had about explaining Bitcoin to a non-technical audience. And I think what Alex has is probably the best thing that's ever been created. And so we want everyone to be able to get their copies and, for the holidays, get their friends a copy and get their family members a copy. And, could be like the best Christmas present ever. So yeah, that's kind of what we were really excited about it. And then we said, at least from our perspective, it fit very well into kind of the things that we want to do with Swarm and whatever. I talked with Alex and it seemed like we had a kind of good vibe, so we kind of went forward with it. So.
No, that's exciting. I guess can you talk about the actual comic? What's it look like? Maybe is there some sample comic strip or it's novel? Put it in the show afterwards, but who's drawing it? Who's writing it? What's the storyline?
Yeah, well, we started working on the comic book last year in October, and our goal was to create a comic book that would educate people about money and Bitcoin in a really easy and fun way. And that's what we've been doing. We started working since then, and the way we developed the story is really to try to make it a fun and easy story to read, and that's why we made an adventure story. But within the storyline, the different people and the different characters that appear in the story, they then try to explain Bitcoin from different points of view, and they explain what all the different people might think about Bitcoin and educate people through that process.
I love the idea. So is it live now? Do you guys syndicate to any online publications?
Yeah, basically there will be like two types of books. There will be like a physical book. It's like 112 pages more or less, and that we're shipping that out by November to all the people that will join the Swarm campaign. And there will also be like a digital copy that we will publish on some of the online platforms that can be used for comics or graphic novels in general. So will be published in Spanish and English and maybe also in Polish because we're just about to arrange something in Poland with a Bitcoiner in Poland who really wants to publish it. So I also take this opportunity for anyone who has contacts anywhere in the world and they want to publish it in their local language, please get in touch with me because it's really easy to arrange. Once you have the big job done, which is creating the whole graphic novel, then the rest is only translating it, which is still a good amount of work, but it's very little compared to the overall job, which is creating the whole storyline.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this. I mean, do we find Satoshi at the end? I know.
Yeah, no, we really try to play with that. I think, I mean, we had a lot of fun creating the story, and the main character of the book is called Bob, and I mean that's in reference to cryptographic communications because usually cryptographers they use Alice and Bob as the names to explain how cryptographic communication works. So that's his name. His girlfriend is called Alice, and yeah, you can find out during the story if they finally find Satoshi. But I think what I can give out is that the message we try to transmit through the comic book is that we are all Satoshi and everyone is part of the community, of the Bitcoin community, and but we play around with this whole idea of who Satoshi is. We also play around a little bit with this whole idea of the chase of Dorian Nakamoto, which was an unfortunate event earlier this year. And so we make a number of nice references to cryptography and to the Bitcoin history of the last three, four years.
Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, well, I can't wait to see it in the evolution. It's a good story to tell. Nobody's really telling it the right way. I think even if you ask either of you right now, what is Bitcoin, the answer is going to be different depending on the audience. Isn't that true?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So, just another aside, there is a little bit of a preview. Alex made an awesome video preview of some of the content, which is up on the Swarm site right now, swarm.co. And it also has a little preview of the comics, so you can see the first couple of pages of the English edition. So.
Well, that's awesome. Maybe we could put it on our site or kind of funnel it through to you guys. We'll figure it out.
No, that would be really cool because I think the video did really well. I mean, we had like 11,000 views of the video. It's like a small trailer video that shows the comic book, and then we also did
traffic over to Swarm.
Yeah.
Well, so tell us about Swarm and your collaboration there. And I mean, I signed up for a Follow the Coin because somebody said to do so, and I don't know what we're going to do with it. But if we get some, it'd be awesome. Karma points.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have this, Andreas Antonopoulos or other people in the Bitcoin community said, we think the future is, that Bitcoin has like laid this foundation that all these other things can build off of, and that, people can have their own coins for a variety of different purposes. And to me, like the most cool, application is this whole crowdfunding thing. I mean, it's been done, but there's this, issue right now with, current crowdfunding models is that you don't really get anything significant back. Maybe you get like the product back, and obviously in Alex's case you get the product back. But Alex and myself are both passionate about giving as much back as you can possibly give, and we think that this kind of using this cryptographic ledger and things like kind of shared intellectual property via cryptographic tokens are something that can basically allow people to get a lot more value than they could in any kind of existing crowdfunding.
Well, how does that protocol actually work? So you will have people adding to the protocol and the coin, or how does it work exactly? It's
yeah, absolutely. So fundamentally, like what people are calling Bitcoin 2.0, and what we're using is all built on top of the Bitcoin blockchain, so it's supported by the whole strength of the Bitcoin network. Mm-hmm. And then you're basically issuing your own coin via, like a Bitcoin transaction, and then that contains of data that says, like, in here is, 100 TINA coins. And then there's like other things you can do, like, locking. So basically, as soon as I've done that, and we're using, the counterparty protocol to do this, you can have a token that's locked, which means that you can never issue anymore. So like the 100 coins, that's all there are in existence, and then they're also tradable through the decentralized exchange. So you can say, okay, like I'll trade you some TINA coins for some Joel coins, whatever else. So that's all like there. That doesn't necessarily provide a lot of value, in the sense like it's a token, so it doesn't necessarily represent something that has value. But when it does, and it's connected to things that have real value, then suddenly it's like a much better way of dealing with that, because it's it's immediately global and engages a lot of audience. You have a lot of security there that you don't have in traditional things. And there's like awesome things, and Alex is a great example of this too, is that you can do like decentralized voting. Like what happens in a Kickstarter project, do you have any real like influence over that campaign? Not really, but in this kind of thing you can say everyone who has the tokens, and we've done this a couple times as Swarm, to like have these votes to say, do you like this, what kind of direction do you want this project to go in? So I think, Alex, maybe you can talk a little bit more about how you're utilizing that. But I think this is awesome, like totally secure, distributed voting. It has this real potential for much deeper user engagement, and not just a one-off kind of thing. So many things like one-off and then it's gone. But this is potentially over a much longer time frame.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's something I really discovered with Swarm also, which I think is really amazing, is that you can really do many more things and things on the long term. And I think also following the principles of what the Bitcoin community believes in, of transparency and sharing and participating in the evolution of the projects you're interested in. So in the case of our comic book that we're publishing about Bitcoin, two of the things that we're planning to do is to let comic coin holders, which will be the coin that will be representing those voting rights, to vote on the title they want to see for the comic book. So we will make different proposals. And to vote on the cover of the comic book. And this is also like, it will also give validation to the comic book, because instead of us only thinking by ourselves, oh, I think I like this one, or I like that one, else asking a couple of friends, it's like a big testing of what works and what people really like in the community, so they can share that. And then finally, I think the thing that is really cool, which we almost confirmed with the lawyers the other day, but we still need to work out some of the details. Some of the intellectual property, we will be able to give it out to the comic coin holders. And so we're planning for the next 5 years for any revenue, net revenue that is generated through the comic book, not directly related to the comic book, but through other products. So imagine if someone comes and buys the movie rights, or like an animated movie rights, then comic coin holders, they would have some of those revenues going to them because they participated in that. So we're trying to experiment with that.
Definitely like a smart contract type of protocol where you're kind of giving out allotments of investment property.
Yeah, exactly.
Duration of time. It's kind of interesting. I've been because Adam Draper was talking about this smart contract, and so it's kind of interesting where they're saying in VC world now you can allocate your investing schedules and then kind of just give it out based on where you set the protocol to kind of just divide or dispense of funds at that time without having to go through a middle person anymore. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, like I don't know if you've seen our trailer video, but like one thing that says, no more, middlemen. So I think that's something that we're very passionate about. Is kind of taking out some of this, people are taking the fees and stuff like that in the middle that don't really need to be there. So
yeah, I think that's going to be so cool. I mean, maybe we'll figure out a way to collaborate more and figure out how to utilize it with all the coins, because karma points is very important for publications. I think, like when they do leadership and not leadership, but leaderboards, and sit here and say, okay, thank you for commenting, thank you for engaging, and all of these different things. But,
yeah, I think there's a lot of things where that can be, something that's plugged in and provides this potential, value stream that's more than just like, oh, we like to, kind of thing like that. But,
will you guys collaborate with ChangeTip maybe, or something like that, like a doge tip bot? How would that be different from, what you're building, for instance? So that's people who might not have a lot of knowledge about the actual technology could get some insight.
Yeah, I built helped build a little Ethereum tipping bot that was inspired by the Dogecoin tipping bot. So. Ethereum hasn't really launched yet, but I like these ideas a lot. It's not like I don't know, right now it's not like the focus of Swarm is right now on like crowdfunding, so campaigns, but I see it, maybe evolving into just the future of funding in general, and then you just kind of put like a little widget on your site and then in a constant stream. So we're kind of like, maybe moving in that direction, but and maybe there's some way we could collaborate with ChangeTip. I like the team over there. So if they propose something, I'm definitely.
Oh yeah, they're doing innovative things. Ethereum. Oh, it's always the topic of discussion. Have you heard of Ethereum? They're going to change everything. So, I mean, tell me what your backgrounds are. How'd you guys meet? Collaborate? Is it all online?
Joel, you want to go ahead? Oh yeah. You go.
I met Alex in London. I don't know. My background is software since I was very young, and then I did a lot of other things like philosophy and art and blah blah blah, and then kind of drifted back to software. I was like, ooh, blockchain technology is really cool. And that was kind of when I saw got involved with the Swarm stuff, because I saw it as being this really big kind of potential, and like I said, taking the middleman out of a lot of different things where there is a kind of middleman that doesn't need to be there. And yeah, I don't know, I met Alex in London, and we kind of hit it off, and then it seemed like there's some kind of, whatever. I don't know. Sometimes I go through like gut feeling because, and it was just something like they thought it was a really awesome project, and so like, oh yeah, this is something like, it's kind of when the whole team gets together and we're like, oh, what is this really like, what do we really get excited about? We're like, oh, this is something we're like, oh, really excited about. So,
oh yeah, totally.
So I don't know. We're just super glad that it's on Swarm, and we're really excited just about educating people about kind of Bitcoin stuff. So and the way that we can do that in the most efficient way. So I think this is like potentially the best opportunity that we've had in a long time to bring explain what is Bitcoin to an audience that wouldn't normally pick up the Bitcoin white paper or something.
Oh, I know. I think they're quite long anyway, so everybody's always like, my goodness, I don't understand. I think I'm even more confused.
Yeah.
And Alex?
My background is more in business, and I've been working and studying money for the last 6, 7, 8 years. And so before Bitcoin came around, in 2006, I was really wondering, or I was thinking, I think there will be really big financial crisis. At the time, I was living in China, and I think it was easier to see it coming from China than from Europe or maybe from the United States. So I started really reading and studying a lot about economics and how people managed previous financial crises. And then I started learning more about money, how money works and how it's created, and I started to learn words like fiat money and fractional reserve banking, all kind of different things related about money management and how central banks work and stuff like that. At some point, many of the people that I used to hang out with and that used to have the same interest like myself, many of them, they were like completely into Bitcoin. And they said, we really have to get into Bitcoin. This is really interesting. It covers many of the things that we're interested in. And so I started working more on Bitcoin, and after a while, I always wanted to do a comic book and about money. But doing something about money wouldn't be cool or fun because people in general, they're not interested about money. But Bitcoin is ideal because Bitcoin is really cool, and it's really something where you have many different things to say and to explain. And I think it's the best opportunity I've seen so far to jump on this, to explain money to the average guy in the street, because in general, if you take money, people feel pretty intimidated by finance. And I think for Bitcoin, if you only take the technology part, people also feel very intimidated by that. So if you combine the two, you really have the worst combination. It's finance and technology, and people are like, oh my god, no, I don't want to know anything about this. It's far too complicated. And I think people should not be missing this opportunity, because blockchain technologies, I think many of us, we really see it as the future. Like for the next 10 years, there will be so many things happening in the world that will completely change the way we live today, as the internet did in the last 20 years. So the great thing about doing a graphic novel or comic book about it is that in images, you can really explain very complex concepts in a very quick way, because people just look at an image and they understand it. And if you combine it with a little bit of text, you suddenly can understand these long and complicated things you usually read in 20 or 100 pages. So we took up this opportunity with the comic book and said, look, we're going to explain Bitcoin and make it really fun, like The Matrix, the movie. It's like you have a lot of action, you have a lot of fun, but in between we'll slot in all this information that we think you need for your life to better understand what money is and to better understand what Bitcoin is. So if you read the comic book in 1 hour, I think you should be able to understand the most relevant items and the different perspectives that are happening around the world of Bitcoin up until now. We don't know how it will be in the future, and yeah, so I think it will be like a quick introduction to this world in an easy way, and hopefully Bitcoiners will just love it because it will be fun for them to read it, but they will also use it as an opportunity to share it with their family and their friends and their loved ones, so that they can get the opportunity to learn about Bitcoin.
I can't agree with you more. It's been really, really nice to hear from a bunch of people who don't know anything about Bitcoin who say, oh, your show makes it so much easier to understand. It's very complicated otherwise.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
No, we're really, I'm a big fan of your show as well, so Tina, so thank you. So.
Oh, glad. Thank you. And we'll have to have you guys back on board all the time and tell us about how everything is developing. Where do you guys live right now?
I'm based in Madrid, in Spain, in Europe.
And then Joel?
I'm in Palo Alto, so in the heart of now, so yeah.
Well, it looks like London back there where you are. But I mean, it's always interesting to get the different perspectives from, the developers and from business people and people who are writing comic books for it and different, like, people who don't even know anything about Bitcoin. It's fascinating what they have figured out from the media. So it's been interesting. But we've got a couple of segments coming up about that. Like, I took Bitcoin on the street and said, "Do you know what Bitcoin is?" Women actually are explaining it a lot better than the guys, in my opinion, at the moment.
Fascinating. Why do you think that is? So
I don't know. I think because maybe when somebody's trying to explain it to them, they're saying, "Oh, okay, so this eventually I could save money," and so they like the concept. Whereas with guys, maybe they get a little too technical with trying to explain the technology behind it versus the use case in front of it. So. I mean, what has your experience been? Have you ever asked random strangers if they know what Bitcoin is?
it's a good question. I don't think so. I mean, I've tried to explain Bitcoin to random strangers before, but I never got their little summary from someone who doesn't know. You asked, "Do you know what Bitcoin is?" I said, "No."
Yeah, you have to get it on tape and then send it to me. And then compile it. I mean, I think it's interesting, especially since you guys are going to, I know Bitcoin is global, and it is all about how money was made. It's following the same trajectory. It's if enough people have critical mass and use it, that's what's fascinating to people. So, I mean, with Swarm, how do you see it evolving when everybody has their own coins or a bunch of coins, or there's, different coins for different purposes?
I think it's just kind of a little bit people will use it for just very little purposes. If I'm gonna have a lemonade, and this is kind of where we're going with Swarm as well. I think it's I want to run a lemonade stand this afternoon, and I need $100 or something like that. Then I'll just kind of swarm it or whatever, create a coin, and then that'll be just for that particular project, and it's a one-off afternoon thing. But then if my lemonade successful is successful, then it'll that success is distributed to everyone who got the lemonade stand coins or something, So I think we'll find a lot of little purposes, even something as simple as even for a lot of nonprofit things as well, we have this little open source project that we're doing that we want to find some funding for, and then people who put in the funds will get some voting on actually what stuff gets implemented, right? Imagine how that would work right now in the Bitcoin Foundation or something. If everyone who actually donated money to the future Bitcoin could actually vote on where the money went, what features get developed or something like that, and what is actually important. So it's kind of more participatory, kind of communal, dynamically evolving things at the kind of little project. So I think we'll just see a lot of little, interesting things that are oh, I never do that before, but this is really cool.
I like that. So it's more like micro lending, sort of. You say you want $100,000 for, I don't know, charity water, and then everybody dives in and puts in some, and then say Charity Water was a real new organization. They can then say, oh, okay, Alex could say, I want them to, build mines, and then Tina would say, okay, I really think it's better if we go out to South Africa first, and then Joe could say, oh, well, but I really, really want it to also be that we can actually make this a long-standing, sustainable thing, and we ensure that the water gets handled carefully from the well as well. That kind of thing. It's fascinating. Am I getting it correctly, or am I getting it completely wrong?
I think you were getting it correctly, but you broke up for a second, and then I missed the final bit of. So.
Hopefully I got it right. Alison, I guess it's basically ways to micro lend and then give everybody a board seat on a project.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. So, lending, or it can just be pure donation, So, but it just allows that kind of long-term engagement, and same kind of thing. And this is really a huge lack right now in Kickstarter, for example, is that they have this problem with technical projects, right? That overpromise, and it's if you're doing something that's technically ambitious, then there's a strong chance that you're going to fail. This is why Y Combinator, you hear about Dropbox and Stripe or whatever, the big successes, Coinbase. but you don't hear about like the gazillion things that just died, you know. So there's that risk always, and anyone who's involved in like early technology stuff knows it. But you know, with the kind of traditional investment, then you have this kind of very simple thing where it's like I put in money, and then like basically that those people can pivot along the way and find like the right tool to kind of do that. But and that makes a lot of sense. But if you're doing like crowdfunding, then you kind of like, here's my plan, right? And then it's like, okay, now I need to go and execute on this plan. And then there's no real way of saying like, oops, like this wasn't a very good plan. That we didn't realize that this thing was going to be too complicated, or like these people weren't going to be engaged enough, or like this technical thing just doesn't work the way we thought it did, or we couldn't get it to work. And then say, now what about going and doing this, you know?
Right.
And that kind of allows you to kind of like say, okay, we start off this way, and now we're going to go this way, and now we're going to go that way. And maybe if we tried to go in a straight line, we actually wouldn't reach the destination because there's a big wall there. But we can actually still get to like the same ideal that we're trying to do with, but like with engagement, along the way. So I think like really there's this, this awesome potential for like long-term engagement and really facilitating things that are very ambitious, but like currently not getting any kind of funding from a kind of crowdfunding thing. I mean, that's like so cool. Like Swarm is a really good example of that as well, as a project that probably traditional investors wouldn't fund because they're like, oh, it's kind of a little too high risk, whatever. We don't want to like dip into this stuff because it hasn't been established yet. But within the whole Bitcoin 2.0 world, there's like a gazillion people are like, oh, like we really want this to exist, so we're gonna put in, and everyone puts in at a small amount, and hopefully those people see the kind of benefit later on.
I like it. It's like breaking the model down, so you actually have people who are really, really fully invested that are joining in, and then you can say, okay, guys, what do you think? So I guess that begs the question, does Swarm have like a built-in chat feature? Will it? Or will it be some way that you make everybody get to know each other right away and stick them into a private group to discuss ideas?
We have a Skype group that has over 100 people. It's quite active, and like people, there's definitely very engaged people there who bat around a lot of ideas. And our forum is reasonably active as well, so there's a lot of people there kind of like, engaged. And then, we get to applications, so our application form is live now, so get people like putting in their ideas that way. So we have a bunch of things where people are coming to us, and we have a decent amount of engagement. But actual live chat would be kind of cool.
Yeah, if you guys gave one to each coin that was then created, and it'll be like a comic chat.
I like it. So yeah, I don't know when we'll do it, but I do like the idea. So.
Yay! I contributed a feature.
It's a feature request. So
yes.
It goes in a list.
Number one. Yes, that's
number one.
Now that we're doing comics and I'm realizing there's Google effects over here, I'm thinking of putting a hat on everybody. Is that okay?
I'm okay with that, yeah. I kind of tried myself because I saw you like added it, but then I didn't actually know how it works.
Right. Let's try and comicize everybody right now. And then, is it gonna work? I haven't tried it yet, so we might as well keep things fun.
I don't actually know how to do it, so.
I don't either. It's not working. No, it doesn't work. Is it? Oh, it worked.
Yep. Whoa.
Oh, there you are.
Awesome. Hold on, wait. Okay,
Yeah.
our turn.
Right.
Alex, you have to try too.
I get over because it's not working for me.
Well,
Did
you're
you-
definitely catified.
Maybe only you can do it.
Was it me? Did I do that?
Oh, did you not do that?
No, that wasn't me.
Oh, okay. I thought it was you.
Maybe it was me.
I
I was
got it.
putting a party hat on myself.
Oh, maybe I'm doing it on myself. Oh, yeah, I am. I'm randomizing. And I can just randomize.
Here, I'm just gonna hit that, and we'll see what happens too.
Whoa, I like this one.
He's the only fun one here. There goes our Saturday. We're like the boring people.
Yeah. I don't think I can pick you guys. You guys have to pick your own. So.
Okay. Let me. Oh.
I think you played some music there.
Oh yeah, there's sounds. Check this out. Whoa.
Whoa, look at Joel. You're actually disappearing. How did you do this? I can't even seem to do it.
Yeah, I can't find it.
Oh well, I guess Joel's the only successful person to turn himself into a comic book character.
I tried. It's really fun now. So.
I don't know.
You gotta click on them, and then they do it to you. You can't do it to anyone else.
Oh. No, nothing's working for me. I mean, I'm clicking on it, but I'm not being.
So the only time it actually worked is when I clicked on randomize. That was how it first did it. Do you see that randomize thing at the beginning, at the bottom?
Yep, still not doing anything. I give up. Never mind, but it's fun though, because since we're all talking comics, it would be awesome.
Whoa.
Whoa. What's going on, Joel? Well, put the camera on you for a while. What are you guys' thoughts on any new technologies that are out there, any new news announcements that you're particularly interested in watching in the Bitcoin space?
I'm super interested in Ethereum stuff. I always have been, and I don't know, there's a lot of difficult things for them to get done before the launch, but definitely the community has responded by saying that we want this to be done. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and just like all these little, I don't know, crypto fuel, like that. That's kind of the model we've been looking for a certain degree, and I'm super excited about this being used for other types of projects.
Right. I mean, I always find it fascinating that Bitcoin actually as a community is really, really great at putting money to go support Overstock or go put money towards Doge for water or like a racing car or even the Olympic bobsled team. So it's just, I mean, I know that's Dogecoin, but still, it's like all together, if we all united and kept creating things and kept supporting things, it would be tremendous what happens. Are you guys going to shop on September 1st with Overstock? There's this huge push, I guess, on Reddit. Everybody wants to help them launch their international effort. We have O.co, and then you got to go in there and buy even like a stick of gum, and then it'll help their international day really be a hit.
Ooh, okay. They should put the Bitcoin comic books on.
That's actually a good idea. We should put it up there as part of the swarm deal. Yeah. Now I think it's really great what Overstock is doing because I think until Dell came around, it was the biggest retailer online who did anything with Bitcoin. So and I went to Amsterdam this year to the Bitcoin Foundation conference, and the keynote speak, if I remember correctly, was from the CEO, and I was really passionate and honest talk about Bitcoin. I mean, this is just not coincidence. I mean, you could really see that they really want to do something with it because they see that the CEO is really pushing this forward. So yeah, I think it's really great what they're doing.
Well, what is it like in Europe? I think in Amsterdam, I heard that you can actually buy anything with Bitcoin in a lot of cafes, or is that not true?
I think there's a street in Amsterdam where you can, it's like the Bitcoin street, where actually we went to have dinner in that street a couple of nights, and everyone would be paying with Bitcoin, and actually you see all the people from or many of the people from the conference going to those places. But I think it's only that street. There's another, oh no, I think the street is in Den Haag, in The Hague in English. And in Amsterdam, we just went. There are a couple of places, but I don't think they have a street. I think the street where everyone is paying with Bitcoin is in The Hague.
Ah, well, how does that work? Does everybody take out their cell phones and then pay for things, or?
Yeah, I mean, people that I've seen so far, they usually use the cell phone. Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. I've yet to go and do that here somewhere yet, but I'm hunting them down.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining the show, guys. I guess, do you have anything else that you want to cover or discuss or bring up?
We can talk about the video contest stuff.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, we're planning to give away there are like 3 different types of coin. Like there's a comic coin, which is the one we told you about, which is like the coin to vote, and that will allow you to participate in other things. And then there's the comic book coin, which is basically redeemable. So because I mean the coins we're creating for this campaign with Swarm, they're like they have three characteristics. One is that they're redeemable. The second one is that you can vote with them, and the third one is that it's attached to some IP. And so basically the comic book coin will be redeemable for comic book, and yeah, we plan to give it out for you and to anyone who shares a video about why they absolutely need to have the comic book in their life. If they do a nice short video about it, like I don't know, 30 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever, and they send it to you, and then you choose the one you like the most, and they win it.
Okay, we could totally do that. That'd be fun. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
I guess if I'm getting it right, you gotta make a video, and then we're gonna choose which video we like best, and then eventually somebody's going to win some comic book coins. And then Joel, is there something related with Swarm?
We just love this, so we're going to promote it as much as we can. So we'll give people also like a Swarm coin, along with the comic book coin, so that they can participate, in the early stage. That's about our thing.
Ooh, there's something that's going to be exciting. I want a Swarm coin. It'll be worth a lot someday, I'm sure. So that's the giveaway, guys. So get on there, make some funny videos, maybe be comic book characters, get creative, and we can't wait to see the result.
Yeah. And Tina, if you have any additional questions, or for anyone, if they have questions, just feel free to write to me. My email is hello@bitcoincomic.org, and yeah, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Well, great, fantastic. And then maybe you'll be swarmed with lots of emails now.
Yeah, that would be great.
Everybody's like, no, he should fly. And how about you, Joel? Do you have a way that people can contact you? Or
Joel@swarm.co, swarm.co. So, or find me on Facebook or whatever, or Skype or anything else. Yeah.
Well, I, for one, do know that Joel is very approachable and easy to reach. So that's great. Great. Well, I guess thanks for being on the show. Hope you guys have a good Saturday. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye, Tina. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just going to say this is an awesome opportunity for you to get a gift, that your family members or whatever else will cherish forever. And, it's like the perfect time. It'll come like just before the holidays. It'll be like a great gift, and you can get it now and really be part of this big moment in spreading of Bitcoin to a larger audience. So, get your Bitcoin comic coins right now while they're hot.
Oh, and make sure to put your names on it, and make it really good, because we're also going to just publicize all of the entries on followthecoin.com. So we'll have that out there wherever. So I hope you guys really do participate in the giveaway. It'll be fun seeing everyone's videos.
Yeah. Cool. That would be a lot of fun.